In the last section, we had a long discussion talking about how we're going to uniquely tag each of our images. And the first thing we need to do is add some code to our travis.yaml file that's going to determine the current git SHA for our repository and export it as an environment variable so that we can later on use it inside of our deploy file. I'm going to flip over to my travis.yaml file. And up at the top, right after our services section, I'm going to add on a new section called env. And then inside there, I'm going to specify global. And inside of here, we're going to set up some number of environment variables. So the environment variable that you and I care about is getting the current commit SHA. And I want to store that as an environment variable called simply SHA, so that we can easily refer back to it in the future inside of our deploy.sh file without having to run that git revparse command again and again and again. So inside of here, I'll say git SHA. Actually, well, let's keep it simple. We'll just do SHA. So that's going to be $ parentheses git rev parse head. So this right here is going to determine the current commit SHA and assign it to an environment variable inside of our Travis environment alone called SHA. So we can now freely access this environment variable inside the deploy.sh file. Now, while we're inside of this environment variable configuration block right here, there is actually one other environment variable that we need to specify. This is totally unrelated to all the SHA stuff. I just wanted to make sure we took care of both these environment variables at the same time. So the second environment variable that we're going to put together is cloud SDK underscore core disable prompts equals 1, like so. So Cloud SDK, this entire thing right here, is just going to configure the Google Cloud CLI and make sure that it does not try to display any prompts that require user input. So in other words, when you and I run this command, gcloud auth activate service account, if this thing normally presents some warning or something that says like, are you sure you want to do this? Press Y or N. We don't want to see that because you and I don't have the ability to respond to that in a Travis environment. And so this right here is just going to make sure that the Google Cloud CLI does not try to show us any prompts such as that. Now this is kind of a tricky command to write out here, so please make sure that you spell everything in this correctly and that everything is capitalized inside there. All right, so again, I apologize for that kind of little sidetrack, but again, I just wanted to do all these environment variables at the same time.